Am I the butthole for confronting my partner's affair in front of our friends? Hey Reddit, I 32M have been with my partner, Jessica 29F, for almost 5 years. From the moment we met, it felt like a whirlwind romance. We were that couple that everyone looked at and said, relationship goals. We traveled together, spent holidays with each other's families, and were planning on moving in together soon. I truly thought Jessica was the one. We had talked about marriage, kids, and everything in between. But about a year ago, things started to change. It was subtle at first. She became more withdrawn, spending more time on her phone, and often seemed distracted. I chalked it up to her having a tough time at work, or just the natural ebb and flow of a long-term relationship. But then the late nights started. Jessica would come home late from work, claiming she had back-to-back meetings or after-work drinks. She assured me it was nothing to worry about, but my gut told me otherwise. There was one night that really sticks out in my mind. She had come home after midnight, and she looked almost too happy. I asked her how the night went, and she gave me the usual vague answers. It was fine, work stuff, and nothing too exciting. But something felt off. I remember asking her, almost jokingly, "So, did you meet anyone interesting tonight?" And she laughed it off, saying, "Oh please, don't start with the jealousy thing." I felt stupid for even asking, so I dropped it, but that nagging feeling in the pit of my stomach wouldn't go away. Over the following weeks, Jessica's behavior became more erratic. There were more late nights, more excuses, and more secrecy. When I'd ask her what was going on, she'd get defensive, accusing me of being insecure and not trusting her. At one point, she even said, "If you keep accusing me of things, it's going to push me away." So I tried to back off, convinced that maybe I was just being paranoid, but deep down, I knew something wasn't right. Things came to a head one weekend when Jessica told me she was going to spend the day with her girlfriends. They had a spa day planned, and she wouldn't be back until late. I didn't think much of it at first, but later that evening, one of her friends, let's call her, and I posted a picture on Instagram. It was a group photo of all the girls hanging out at the spa, and guess who wasn't in the picture? Jessica. I tried not to jump to conclusions, but my mind was racing. Where was she? Who was she with? I waited until she got home, and when she did, I casually asked, "How was the spa?" She didn't even hesitate. "It was great, very relaxing," she said. That was the moment I knew. She was lying, and it broke my heart. But I didn't confront her then. I needed more proof. That's when I did something I'm not proud of. I snooped. While Jessica was in the shower, I went through her phone. I know, it's a huge invasion of privacy, and I felt guilty the entire time, but I was desperate. What I found confirmed all my worst fears. There were dozens of messages between Jessica and a guy named Nick 35M, a colleague of hers. The texts weren't just friendly banter, either they were flirty, suggestive, and downright inappropriate. There were even plans to meet up that weekend while she was supposedly at the spa. My heart sank. I couldn't believe it. This was the woman I thought I was going to spend the rest of my life with, and she was cheating on me. And not just a one-time mistake, this had been going on for months, right under my nose. I didn't know what to do. Should I confront her immediately? Should I wait and gather more information? I was in complete shock. Over the next few days, I tried to act normal, but inside, I was boiling with anger. Jessica had no idea I knew about her affair, and she continued with her usual routine: late nights, secretive phone calls, and all the lies. I felt like I was living in some kind of twisted reality show, watching the person I loved deceive me over and over again. The breaking point came a couple of weeks later. We were invited to a small gathering at one of our close friends' houses. It was a casual get-together with about 10 of our mutual friends, many of whom had known Jessica and me for years. I went, knowing full well that I was about to confront her, but I didn't know exactly how or when. I just couldn't keep this bottled up any longer. As we all sat down, chatting and drinking, I couldn't hold it in anymore. The sight of her sitting there, laughing and joking like everything was fine, infuriated me. She was living a double life, and I was the only one in the room who knew. The alcohol I had consumed didn't help, and before I knew it, the words just spilled out of my mouth. "So, how's Nick?" I asked, loud enough for everyone to hear. The room went dead silent. Everyone, including Jessica, looked at me confused. She tried to play dumb, asking, "Who?" But I didn't let her off the hook. I pulled out my phone and read some of the texts I had found. "Nick," I repeated, "the guy you've been texting and meeting up with for months." Jessica's face turned pale. She stammered, trying to come up with some kind of excuse. but the evidence was undeniable. The room was so quiet you could hear a pin drop. Our friends were frozen, unsure of what to say or do. Some of them knew Jessica well, and seeing her exposed like this was shocking for everyone. She eventually stormed out of the room in tears, and the rest of the night was a blur. Some of our friends followed her to check on her, while others stayed back, trying to comfort me, but I didn't need comfort, I needed answers. I felt a mixture of relief and regret. I had exposed her affair, but I had also done it in front of all our friends. Since that night, things have been rough. Jessica moved out of our apartment, and we've been on no contact terms. Our mutual friends are divided. Some think I handled the situation poorly by confronting her in front of everyone. They say I should have talked to her privately and not aired our dirty laundry in front of others. They think I embarrassed her and took things too far by making a scene. Others have been more supportive, telling me that she deserved to be exposed after months of lying and cheating. Jessica, of course, is furious. She's been telling people that I ruined her life, that I made a private matter public, and that I had no right to confront her in such a... But I don't feel sorry for her. She cheated on me for months, lied to my face, and expected me to just quietly walk away. I couldn't do that. I felt like she had taken enough from me, and I wasn't going to let her tarnish my reputation on top of it all. So, Reddit, am I the butthole for confronting my partner's affair in front of our friends? Should I have kept quiet and handled it privately, or was I justified in exposing her after everything she put me through? I honestly don't know if I was right or if I went too far.